Hello, guys. Good evening, and welcome on to this live stream. I, first of all, I have to apologize to you, fellas, that I'm sorry that it took this long for me to start the stream. The second part of this project. So, that being said, I'm just going to get straight to 3dsmax now. So, on the last time we worked on this project, this is what we had, right? And then um like I said, I don't know if any of you that follow me on my social media pages, we know that I'm done with doing that for this project, and it's in a way serve as guideline for us. So I'll show you guys how I did some of the things I did on the image. So let me show you the renders for the effects right now. Okay, just bring that up. Okay, so here's the end product of the. So yeah, you can see it's not so different from what we have for the reference image. Even though this is real life images and stuff existing, and it's going to be hard finding exact models for all this foliage right here. But at least we try. When we are going, I have no idea. Uh, Let me see if there's a way I can do that. From what I'm seeing here, it's supposed to be balanced, but I have no idea why it is planning to. Frederick, thanks for coming on the live stream. I think this is the first time I'm seeing Frederick. Thanks for coming, and I really hope you're able to gain some knowledge from this. So let me just get to the project right now. So for the main floor where we have the grass, the main foliage scatter, right? What I did was so that I'll be able to add in some noise, make it regular because you can never have a flat plain ground as we have it right here. So let me just switch this on so that you guys can. So as you can see, it's just totally flat, right? And that won't help us achieve the realism we are looking for. Yeah. So the first thing I did was to add in the subdivider modifier. What this does, it breaks your geometry into smaller chunks. Then you can always um, tweak the value for the sizes. Okay, that's you can see the lower this value is, the lower these triangles you are seeing here will be, or the smaller they will be, and that means it has more details. You can add in more details, or whenever you try to put in irregularities, it's going to look better. So, but then you have to be careful. You don't want this value to. So then the next thing I did after that was to add in the noise modifier. Now, what the noise modifier does is to help you up. You guys can see. You can see we have this um, regular surface right here. Now, it is the most noise modifier that we're able to. With noise modifier, that is what we use to achieve this. That's just another thing you can always use in your project. It is actually it's important you, if you want to achieve something really, you want to achieve something realistic, important you do it this way, especially for exterior visualizations, right? You want to scatter foliage all around and stuff. You always try as much as possible not to have just a plain surface to scatter your foliage on. Very important. So after that, I think I added in just to edit some of the, as you can see, I did some adjustments here just to, if you guys take notice of the stone parts we have here, and then when I switch on this edit poly, this is what I have. Now what I did was I just manually dragged some of the vertices on this plane hop, that once I'm doing that I can have um this look of the foliage, the stone is submerged into the plane, something like that. So then I'll get to the UVW map later on when I'm applying the texture. So let's just continue. So let's get to this scattering now. Now to scatter the foliage on this um on this um on this plane, I would like to start with the big details first. I'd like to start with big details first. And that is I don't know what the grass is called. I don't know what the name is called, but this this looks a bit like the pineapple plants. I don't know if you guys have an idea. So I've already brought in the models I'll be using for that. And since we are trying to achieve, we are working towards an image, right? Uh, let's say it was left to me and I was making this image, just straight off from my head. I'll probably use Forestpack to scatter it. But then since we have something we are working towards and we have the 3D plans to move that, and then the one other thing is the pineapple plant. We don't have it all over the scene. Just have it here on this side, on this one side. It's much better. It will save us much time. If we are to place these plants by hand, it's better. So that's what we're just going to do. Just going to move this in. Just place them all around there like that, like so. Let me bring up the that's let me put this on the second screen. You guys might not see. Just work with me. Auto saving. Let's just give that a few minutes to. Okay. I'll just keep arranging the plants like so. Side. Then this other side as well. Have that plant. Other side here. Then we have the fern. I think they call this plant fern. So I'm just going to put that in as well. I got this model from the Megascans bridge. I really hope some of you guys are already working with the Megascans bridge because it will really help a lot your project. You can see these models have the textures in already. During the course of rendering, if we have to adjust some of the textures or something, we are going to do that. And then for the floors, I already have textures on them, but I'll be showing you guys again how I worked the texture, how I brought it up and stuff. So, I think I've somewhere around. Well, I have one. Yeah. So, even though it's a first pack tutorial, right? Sometimes you just need to do some of these things by hand because it's going to take a lot of time. Looking at the conditions in which we are making this project, it will take some time having to scatter and it's using first pass scatter to achieve what we are trying to get with this. Um, yeah, most of these plans because they are not much on the project. I'm just going to place them in by hand. Have some of I have this all plants. Yeah, this one right here for guys over here. I think I'll have to place some of that here as well. It's so just keep adding those. We have three pans or something. I'm going to set this up because I need a perspective view to be able to show you guys how the plants look like. Just bring, let's bring up that again. So we can have the camera view positioned like that, and we have the perspective view here, then the top view. It's better, and it will help us faster working that way. So on this area, most of these plants, though, I'll be telling you guys which ones come from the Megascans bridge and which ones come from my library. So we have uh this white grass behind the sofa around there. I wasn't able to find a model that exactly looks like that, but we have something that looks similar. We can just make do with that. Let me check it. Uh, these grasses might look just they might look low poly to you, but by the time you start rendering, that's when you see that okay, the mega scans with the plants or the 3D assets they have there actually low poly, but then when you render, they still look good, and that is just the magic of it. You can have millions of these on your scene, and it won't affect render time that much. So if you haven't gotten the mega scans reach, I'll advise try as much as possible to get it working your PC. It's really going to work your work. It's really going to help your workflow. So I'm just going to rotate, make some sense to those. Well, we have this small white grasses as well. You can see all these ones I'm placing by hand. It's really I'm doing that because we do not have much of them in this scene, and then we are working with a template as well. So that's why I'm not using Forestpack to scatter them right now, and I'm just placing them by hand. into. Yeah. Uh, on the fence, I don't know if you guys are able to notice. We have this um should I call it a climber? Or this climber plants. It's on the fence right there, just flowing into the garden. So I was able to find something quite similar, maybe not exactly it, but then similar. So, uh, the details behind there is pretty much big, right? So I think we can get away with trying to place the plants there anyhow we didn't fit. And little shrubs. What we have here. Bad. And so we are beginning to have that look of wide garden like that. That is what we are trying to go for. That's what we are trying to go for. So just continue work. Yeah. Okay, now that we are done in the how do I put it? Now that we are done putting in the main foliages, the big plants in the scene that we have to place by hand. Now that we've done adding those in, we can start putting in the grass, right? So for the grass to make a visually convincing grass, to make a grass that looks realistic, there are some things you have to take note of. The model you are trying to the first thing is the model you are trying to scatter in. Try as much as possible, unless if you are trying to portray a lawn, a lawn that has just been freshly cut. You see that okay, the grass you find on lawns, right? They are like they are mostly the same level. There's no irregularity much. Those kind of in those kind of situations. But then in this situation that we are working with right now, we have regular grasses, we have wide ones, we have just to make it look realistic, we will need plants of varying heights, right? And then to mix it up further, we would need some other some uh what's the name for it? It's white grass too, but then you just put it, you scatter it on the lawns like that, or you scatter it on the smaller grasses give some form of um to give some form of realism. Like so, this is what I mean. Now we have the main grassy sites. If you look closely, we have this other they are not grasses per se. They are plants, small plants that you can just find growing widely anywhere. right? So um that is what I meant when I said more grasses or grass or other plants that you might need to mix up with your grass. I don't know if you guys get the drift, but in case you have any questions, maybe when you watch this video and you have questions, you can always reach me through my Discord. Um, I have the links to my Discord and everything. I have it on the description. You can get to me through that. So for the grass we are going to scatter, I have this guys right here. Now, when I was trying to when I was trying to get this get this grass right, I had to detach this these planes. I had to detach it from a clump of grasses because it was not quite giving me what I wanted. Then um when I bought it in the model, I bought in the model from the Fridge app. That up. I'll show you guys how it looks. Okay. Uh, just give that a minute to load up. Okay. So this right here is the model I brought in. But then if we had to compare the way this looks and the way our plant here looks, that model won't quite give me what I was looking for. Let's say I was able to find moss moss models, or if I was able to find moss textures, I could have used that, but I searched the internet and whatnot. I was unable to find that because that is what would have given us the perfect look I have on this image right here. So I had to just make do with it. And what I did was I brought in this model. You can see it's a clump, and I had to detach just some of the planes, that model right there. Yeah. The only reason why I tried this is because I know that these grass models are just, they are very low poly. Like right now they are just plains of grasses with a grass image on it cut off by an opacity map. Yeah, and but then it's pretty much low poly. Like let me see. Let me bring this guy here. So I can use both to compare. Okay, this one is even still low poly. So I can compare both. You guys can see what I'm trying to talk about. Okay. Now check this out. This is a 3D asset from Max 3, right? Now check this. Look at the number of polygons each blade of grass has. Just this blade of grass has almost 20 polygons to make that blade of grass. Every blade of grass was modeled. Now compare it with this. You just have some plain drawn out. Let me show you the clay view. So maybe I can use that to explain better as well. See, we have this, and we just have this looking like this. Now, if we have millions of this model in our scene, we won't really feel it much on the render time. You understand? We won't really feel it much on the render time compared to this guy right here. So you just have to be careful again with the models you are trying to scatter in your scene. You have to be careful about that as well. So guys, just take note. So if you are able to get the bridge login, and you have it by the time you logged in, you'll be able to get it free the way I did. I actually before this video, right, I planned on making a video how to get mega scans bridge for free. Get it to work with 3dsmax and stuff. Now the method I knew to make it work that way. When I tried it with another Gmail account I had, because that Gmail account I've never used it on any Epic Games website. I've never used it on any Epic Games product. I mean, I've never used it for the Cruiser Mega Scans before. So I thought, okay, using it that new, I could just create a tutorial using that new email, register for this and show you. But then when I tried it, it's the bridge app asked me to to pay for some of the models on them, and I did not have that problem on this right here. So I'm not quite sure what the problem is yet. Maybe because I already have an account on this PC. Maybe that's why. But then maybe at the end of this video, I'll just tell you the steps I know that you can use to get Megascans Bridge for free. So I will say, but then there will be a disclaimer that it is not 100% that it's going to work. I don't know, maybe it is selective, or maybe there's something I'm not doing right. Um, just give me bear with me. At the end of the video, I'll share it with you guys the ways I think you should be able to get Megascans Bridge for free. So if you're able to get Megascans Bridge, it's really great for you. So now I want to scatter this grass right here on majority of this plane. Okay, so to make our scatter fast and do something, let's try something. You're going to select the plane right there, and then I'll select the grass, the main grass. I'll still come to this other guys later on. So and then going to isolate section. Now you guys might be wondering what is happening with the plane. Now this plane, I have added in a texture. This texture, it's a forest or how do I call it, a ground texture. But as you can see, it has these green leaves, everything looks like it has some growths on it. Now this will help. It serves as a great bedrock for your scatter. Places where your grasses are not covering. So at least you have some soil showing up underneath, or some dead leaves showing up underneath. So that's what this is for. I'm going to activate the UV map. I already have it mapped out. You can see that is what it looks like. You ready to get this? Let me show you. Okay, so this is what we have. The text is the texture, but then when you map it on your plane, and you have the coordinate displacement on it as well, you get some interesting look, some realism your image. So going on. I'm going to click the Forestpack icon right there. I already have the Forestpack icon showing up. In case any of you, maybe after installing your Forestpack, you do not have this icon, I think you might have to see. Probably might have to right click. Maybe if you have empty spaces or anything there, maybe you see the Forestpack object there. And in case you don't see it as well, you can go to customize user interface, toolbars, look for I2 software, the Forest Pro. Click on the probably create a new. Let's drag this in. Now we look this way because this is a button I created myself. But then if I click on this button, it would still bring up this menu up there. That is how to go about that in case you install the Forestpack objects or the Forestpack and you are not in these icons. So once you click that, you will have this cross here, and there's a difference actually between the way this crosshair looks and the way this as you can see, we just have the mouse looking like just have the mouse icon like this. But once I click the Forest Pro, that's how you know that okay, the Forestpack is clicked and waiting for you to click on the surface or on a spline. Now when I over my mouse on any plane, you can see it changes. Yes, you can see that changes on smaller. It is telling you that okay, this is clickable, and select this surface in the scatter. Once I click that, I'm going to have these planes showing up. But I just delete this because I do not need this plane. They are just planes just to show that there's a Forestpack object select. Just going to delete those. Then I am going to add in the grass planes. I have multiple grass planes. I can start adding them in one after the other. What I'm going to do is select this, and that's the reason why I isolated, because when you isolate, right, you are left with the object you want to scatter and the plane you want to scatter on. But let's say I did not isolate, I'm just going to have so many. I'm going to have so many objects showing up here, and I may not, in a way, I might not be able to get which of the objects I want to click on. So just have to work smart, click hard, give that some time to load up. Now we have the Forestpack loaded up, and you can see we have it. Just have about 4 or 5. That's then this is not going to show anything. It's not going to look like anything. So to adjust that, you can see we just have 5 items. Okay. Now to adjust that, areas tab. Sorry. Now you can leave it on dense, or you can use full. Full is still you have more objects, the full mode. Now you decrease this value right here. You lower the value here, right? Lower the values you see here. When you lower the values this on this tab, you have more objects. So lower the value, the more you see objects scattered on your plane or surfaces. So then I think we have it. It's looking. This is too much right now. Let's try 5,000. Probably let me just put this on dense. With dense, we need, when you put it on dense, you still have some empty areas around there, and in a way it will help you for realism. Just going to this small, have more. And then when you check this, you look at this area right here, we still have empty areas. You need those empty areas. You need those empty areas to achieve the realism we are looking for. If we need to increase the data, we'll do that. The next thing you want to do is go to your transform tab and check translate, and scale. Now these parameters right here, have their uses. Sometimes you might need to switch off translation and have rotation and scale on. Sometimes you might need to have rotation off, like that. So translation, it just means it means it's a randomize. It helps you randomize the movement of your models, on the x, y, and y axis, on the z axis. If you're working with vertical walls, you're trying to simulate vertical walls. Then, as you can see, we have it minus 20 to 20. It means this model should be randomized in such a way. Like for example, see, if I have it off, it's looking this way, right? We just have everything straight up that way. But then when I have this translate on, we have some randomization. You can see a perfect example of that on the edges right here. We are not having all this staying on the same line throughout. So same for rotation. I don't know if you guys can see, guys. In a way, this plants, this is we scattered multiple models, right? Now look at models from this plant, or look at the scatter. Just this plane is making. Every other instances of that plane, are facing the same way. You can see like that. Now, if you do not have the rotation on, in a way, this might start showing as repetition in our scene. So it won't make it look realistic that way. So you want to have the rotation on. Well, loading. And that we have it realistic. We have it rotation on. You won't even be able to you won't be able to recognize, okay, maybe there's a plane or a grass looking the same way, or looking or facing the same way. So you need that on as well. Same for scale as well. So you need to have this on. It depends on the scenario you're trying to work with. Well, I'm just trying to show you guys what each parameter does, and then you can use them. You can use them as it befits your project or whatever you're working on. Okay, now that we are done scattering it on this area, like so, let's hand isolate. Okay, now that we've isolated this right, look at what we're having. Remember, we have a stone part on this area right here. Remember, we have a stone part, but then we have the grasses growing up in. Then one other thing, to take note of, like this is this global scale right here. This global scale. Now I have the plants scattered, right? I have the plants scattered, but then let's say in a way I already made a test render and I'm happy with the way the plants are looking. Now but then I'm happy with the way these plants are scattered, but then I feel like these plants are too tall. Now, you might make the mistake of coming to the scale right here to reduce the values, but once you change these values the way it is right here, the scatter changes. Different values will yield different results. I think that is why Forestpack is so good, because you have limitless randomization. Let me put it that way. limited randomization. Is just that's just simple explanation for it. So immediately you change any of these values right here, the scatter might change. Now I have it as 80, right? If you guys will notice, let's say for example in the test render I made, this plant is right here. I like the way it is looking right there, but then it's too tall. If I were to come and say okay, because the scale is looking, I'm using 70, probably maybe using this at 60 or something. Now right now it's looking like it works, but then you might be unlocking some other project and then everything will just be scattered. So since you do not want it that way, you can just easily uh, use the global scale right here to reduce scale of those objects. Just reduces everything same time, leaving it with. But then when you reduce it like that, it still leaves the objects the way they are. All the placements of the objects are still the way they are. It doesn't change it. It does not change that. So I think we need more of those plants around. We have enough grass in this right here, but then the grasses are still covering the walk path. So what we want to do now is to exclude, find a way to exclude this walk path so that we won't have the grasses going on the walk path. Yeah. Now, what I want to do is, whenever you want to, this is one thing you have to understand. If you want to add an existing Forestpack object on a new surface, use the surfaces tab. By surface, I mean geometries like this. But when you want to add an existing Forestpack object on a shape, let me just show you the difference between a shape and a geometry or geometry now. So let's say a plane, right? Let's say a plane. Then like so. Then we have this line right here. Okay, cool. Now this is a shape and this is an object, or this is a geometry, a plane. Now let me just click this existing Forestpack object. So this, I want to add a new surface. I want the Forestpack to get scattered on a new surface. I have to use the surfaces tab. Please take note of that. There's a surfaces tab right here. If you want to add a new plane, this is where you add a new surface, a new object. If I click this plus button right here, like so, and click this, the Forestpack object will be scattered on that as well, on that surface. So that's how you add surfaces to an existing Forestpack object. Now, do not make the mistake of adding the new object to area tab. I'll show you why. Okay, let's say in my mind I'm thinking, okay, I want to add a new surface, right? And then I make the mistake of using this button right here. This is the button used to add a surface in under the area tab. But then there's something you have to take note of. When you click a new object under the area tab, if you notice on this area we only have the exclude button right there. We have it as only exclude. The exclude option is checked, and then it's even grayed out. You can't change it to include. It can only be excluded. It means any geometry that has been added under the area tab can only be used as exclusion. You can only use it to exclude. You can never use it to include. You can never use it to include first scatter on the surface or something. I'll show you guys what I mean right now. So I'm hiding this object right under this. Now check this out. Once I move this object, once I move this object here in on the existing scatter, you can see we do not have any scatter going on there. You know why? Because it has been added. It can only exclude. You can only use object as exclude. Oh no, our 3dsmax just crashed. Let me start it up again. Start up again, and I think for a while we've telling it to. I think for a while we've been telling it to not autosave, stopping the autosave. Okay, what do we have? What do we have? We have a recently saved backup. 7. Okay, the most recent backup we have was around 30 minutes ago. Not to fret, we do that. Let's open it up and I'll just um quickly add in the grass again, then continue from where we left off. Yeah. I really hope you guys are checking out the common point site. I think they recently put out a new blog, and I've read it. I've read the blog, right? And the information you get from there is really important. It really helps figuring out 3D volumetrics, fog, and all the rest. So you guys take out the time to read it. It really help you, or it really helps you understand how fog works, how to get it to work on your 3D scene, everything. So and see, is they just have this perfect illustration to show you okay, if you want to work on fog or if you are using fog, this is how it works. Parameters to check, what not to check, like that. Check it out. The common points. That's the name of the website. Just brush up on writing. better to display them as clouds. The distribution has its 5. So let me switch on the transform tab. The global scale. Okay, I think we're back where we left off. We're back where we left off, so I'll just continue. As I was explaining earlier on, um, before I do that, let me just save let me save the project, so that even if it crashes, we can just get back to where we left off. Then just go back. Right. Um, I already showed you guys what happens when you had in the plane under the area tab, right? It can only work as an exclusion, right? It can't work. You can't use it to include. If you are adding the object or the geometry under the area tab, that's the reason. Now for the spline I created here. Now this is the button you use to add in splines, right? If I click on this spline and add it in, now as you can see, we have this option of using it as an include object and an exclude object. It means we can also use it to exclude. You can also use it to exclude the model scene, and then you can use it to include as well. So you won't really see anything right here because the model is already been scattered on that area. So, but then let me change the parameter of this spline from include to include right now. See, and that's what you have. Let me not move it too much so that we do not have it scattered or something. So you just have to, in a way, know what you are going for and how to achieve it. That's how it works. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to exclude the stone part. I'm just going to exclude it from this scatter. So once I click that, you can see we won't have any plants. We won't have any plants growing on the stones right now. We have the stones looking, they're independent or they are standing on their own. No plant is growing in them. No plant is showing up into the middle of the stone part the way we had it before. Can we do this? Something. You guys notice it's show you guys now. Okay. Now that the plant is not getting to this area. You know why? Because there's a stone, or the stone geometry is still on, like it's under that area right there. It's still messing with the it's messing with the planet's scatter. I move this back a bit, like so. Okay, of that down as well. Then now we just have the grass. The grass is alone. Yes, one other thing. As you can see, we still have it. Um, we have the grass flowing into this as well. So we are just going to do it the same way we did for the stone part. I'm going to click this. Go to the object here and select this right here, and then just like that, we do not have the grass showing up side or just coming up inside the stone, inside the pavement anymore. Of that, then that thing. Okay, yeah. For the other foliage, for this the little plants, that in too. So to scatter that in, you can click on your forest object, like so. If you are planning on using some of the settings, or if you don't want to start from beginning or something, you can clone your forest object, make it a copy. Give it a name, make it a copy. Do not make it instance, so that any change or correction you are doing to that won't affect your previous Forestpack object. And click OK. And now we have more plants. What we want to do, because these are the plants we already have on this forest object already, so we want to delete this. This is on the copy, not on the original one. We I already have the Forestpack object selected. Just going to select the other little, like so, and isolate section. Add them in like that. You can see it will just follow. It's going to just follow the scatter we had for the previous one. Now, if you want to make any changes to this, you are welcome to. You can probably, if you are thinking it's too much for this thing, can reduce it. And I hope you guys remember what I said about these values right here. The lower the value here, the more you will see the subject in. So since it's not the main ground cover, we do not need it to too much. And then remember as well, we reduce the global scale. The plant model is already small as it is. Reducing the global scale again will just make it look so tiny. So just going to put it back 100 so that it can be visible in our scene. Okay, that's for that as well. For that, and then other scatter do. Okay, we have this, guys. Just small plants, but it's just a bit taller. That's what I have. This model scattered all around this thing. So that's why I'm using the Forestpack object for it. That's why I'm not placing it by hand. Like I did earlier on. I think I'm going to use the scatter I used for the small plants forest scatter. Sorry, I'm going to use the small plants forest scatter. Clone that. And okay. Guys, late section. Cloud. Oh. Like before, we can see we have it everywhere, and that's not what we want. We're going to read this value hunt. Just have this few number going up in the text. So, okay, I think this is okay. Oh, so we have the random transformer parameters on. Okay. Now, there's one trick I would like to show you guys on Forestpack. You can in a way still be able to move some of the objects just scattered in your scene manually. But once you do that, there are some parameters that will be sealed off or will be closed off from you. So that item, so that's under the area tab. Now you see the change that will come to this. Now for this white plants, let's see, we have 23 items in our scene. So once I click this arrow beside the forest object here, click that, and I choose item, it's going to bring up a dialog. Switching to custom edit mode with disable area and distribution parameters. Are you sure? Now once I click yes, it means I just have 23 objects in my scene. Now I can move these objects myself. I can move them and place them where I want them to. Maybe I don't like where that's can move. Adding one here, I can rotate as well. So you just use this parameter for when you just need to do some things yourself. Because maybe there's a tree you like in your scene, and then you just want it to be somewhere. You just want to place it somewhere yourself. You can even delete like the ones behind the shade there won't be showing up. Instead of just having them at render time, you can delete them as well. Okay. So let's see. And just like that, I think we are done with all the scatters. Yes, there's one other thing I did. Image. I think we have some palm trees behind there. And just like before, I did not scatter. I did not place the palm trees behind using Forestpack. And the reason why that is so is because I already have the model, right? I do not need to start troubling myself, trying to use Forestpack to place it, and then it won't quite like what I want it to. It just keep giving me some hard time, just move manually. Um, bring in the other models. Okay, and just like that, we are done with the first pattern. Now, I think yes, I mentioned that I'm going to show the material for the floor. That's it. You can see it looks really rough on this image, but then I do not know what texture this or where to get it. So I just had to make do with something my own. And we even when I was making this, I think I still made quite some mistakes. Like this line right here shouldn't be there. And put that texture in there. The texture I brought in the texture from this texture. Yes. So this is the texture I brought in. So this is the texture I used as the base. So, so to apply um auto saving, let's just give it time to finish auto saving like so. Oh, thanks, Regis. Thanks for the kind words. We appreciate it, and I'm glad that in the way you're able to gain some knowledge from this. Okay. So when I brought in the texture, right? This is how you apply textures from the Bridge app. So let's say I want to apply this texture on this plane right here. So you have to make sure the plane you are applying to is already selected in your 3dsmax. Important to have it selected. So um let me go with this plane. I already have it to export this texture as 2K resolution. 4K and 8K are going to be so heavy. I don't have a supercomputer for it to take that much load, or for it to take 4K textures in, or this scene or something like that. So I work with the 2K texture for now. Under the export settings, I already asked it to export the albedo, the halo bump, diffuse, displacement, gloss, and all these textures right there. So once you have it selected, so you click export. So you just wait for it and then voila. It's already mapped. Now sometimes you might have to add in the UVW map yourself manually, and probably just say whatever you want. And then on your material editor, the material will show up the material editor like this. So you can still make corrections to it. Um, maybe you want to desaturate or something, and do that. So that's how it works, using bringing in surfaces, bringing in textures using the bridger. So that's what I did do. So when I brought that in, I think I was trying to do something with the displacement here, which didn't quite work well for me. I saw it. I tried mixing this texture right here to serve as some form of plates. That's what I have there. Looking at it now, I probably just have this plate of. Don't worry about the other guy going up and that like so. And instead, I can just work with the I just work with the bump map. Yeah, bump map. So you guys will notice I have two UVW maps on this for this plane or something. Now the reason being that I have two different textures on this. So I have this texture, this plain concrete bump, and I have this as well. The UVW map for that might make this look good and perfect might look distorted on this. So to be able to uh, tweak the parameters for each bitmap independently, that's what you have to do is, let's say for example now on this bitmap and every other bitmap that is like it, every other bitmap that looks like it, I have them all on channel 1. I mean, let's say for example I have the diffuse for this map, I have the glossiness bitmap or the glossiness image for this map. All of those textures, all of those bitmaps, I have them on that map channel 1. And then for this other one that looks like concrete bump, now the diffuse for this normal map, the glossiness and everything, I have them all on map channel 2. When I created the UVW map, if you create a UVW map and scroll down, you see this map channel. So it means if I'm having a UVW map and I'm having the number here as 1, that UVW map will only affect bitmaps with map channel 1. So it means this UVW map right here will only affect UVW map here because it is under map channel 1, map channel 1, map channel 1, map channel 1. Now this, let's say for example I'm making this visible in my scene, right? But I'm on map channel 1. If I make any correction to this, as you can see, I'm changing this value. It is not affecting this. Let me just enlarge this so that you guys can see. Okay. It won't affect it because the map we are seeing right here under map channel 2, not map channel 1. So that's just a way you can use to tweak multiple textures here. Now, if I go on map channel 2, like so, and I work on it, you can see it is affecting this now, right? Because it has been programmed to affect these maps with map channel 2. That is what I did that area. So then I did not use any special effect on the these are the two images I made out of render. This is the first image right here. I also have the sun. Then for the background, for the background I just have this diagonal. I have an image I just placed there. The reason being I did not want to go through the trouble of adding in the background in Photoshop. So you can use this direct visibility or this parameters right here to place images in your background. What I did, that's one. Well, um, and I just place the depth of field. I use the depth of field effect on this one right here. Well, and voila, that's how I got to make this image, and that's my process. Now, what I've told you guys today is not everything about Forestpack. Understand there are many scenarios that you would need Forestpack for. There are many other um, things or different scenarios that will come up that might not even work. What things I told you today might not even be what will be applicable to those kind of scenarios then. But then if you are able to, if you know what each parameter does, if you know what the work of each value you are using or something, that way in a way you've been able to master Forestpack to the point of using it to create whatever you want to create, because now you know the basis of how Forestpack works. You know, okay, adding objects in areas can only exclude, you know, how that's what the transform is for, all those parameters. Now in subsequent live streams, you know, maybe the live streams I'll do later on, if I'm scattering on any surfaces as well, I'll be using Forestpack, and things might be a bit different on that. So in case you have any questions, maybe you're working on your project and it's a unique situation, or maybe it's one of the things I told you didn't actually work out the way you thought it would in your own scene, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me to my Discord or the other links there, and I'll try to help as much as I can. So thanks guys for coming on the live stream. Yes, I think I remember. I said I'm going to try to show you guys how to get the Megascans bridge working now. This was the way I did it, and it worked for me when I created my own account. But then when I tried using another email to create another account and just for tutorial purposes, it did not work. But then maybe it would work for you guys. So let me just show you guys the process right now. The first thing you want to do is I believe because to get the Megascans bridge, Epic Games has this agreement with Quizzel that anyone with an Epic Games account Epic Games accounts, because anyone with an Epic Games account should be able to access Quizzel Megascans assets for free. Now, before I used to think that agreement only applied to people who are working through Unreal Engine, but it turns out that that's not the case, right? So the first thing you want to do is go to happygames.com. So you click on sign in. Then please make sure it is sign in with Epic Games, right? You click So let's say not signing your right here. You don't click on this. Go to sign up. That means you do not have an Epic Games account. But in case you think you have an Epic Games account, please be sure when you were signing up, you signed up with Epic Games, not with Facebook, not with Google or any of these other outlets right here. So you click sign up. This sign up with email, you can see it has the Epic Games logo right there. You click that, and then you fill in, you fill these options in. Now, once you are done filling it in, verify the mail they'll send to your, verify your email and then all that. You will then go to quizzel.com. Go to Quizzel and you click on product, then bridge. Like so. Then you click download bridge. You click download bridge. Now, once you are done downloading, install the bridge the way you would normally install any application. Open it up, and then you see the sign in right here. You see there are two buttons you find. You find a subscribe button and a sign in button. You click the sign in button and you sign in with your Epic Games login. That is the way that's the way I did mine, and it worked for me. And I've had friends. I have a friend there that did it the same way and it worked for him. So maybe it does not allow you to have free access on on how do I put it, or two or multiple access on the same PC. Probably, I have no idea why. So please, guys, try it out, and then we'll see if it works. It works for you. So, thanks for coming on the live stream. I really appreciate the attendance and then the questions, because some people have been able to reach out to me that, okay, how did you do this? How did you do that? It really helps me because I'm able to share the knowledge I have and in a way learn from you guys as well. Thanks once again. God bless. Bye.